Hello, and welcome to the finale episode of season 2 of Navigating the Healing Path podcast.
Woo!
Woohoo! uh, Nicki and I are very excited to be closing out this season of coping mechanisms, coping tools, resources, healing strategies, just some of the heavier aspects of navigating the healing path. But we are very excited to be closing out this heavier season with a very light and loving episode. So today's topic, we are going to be pointing out and sharing each other's gifts, spiritual gifts, talents, just all the ways that we bring light and love into this earthly plane.
Yes.
You know, a little bit of context. We both have, or I guess, Nicki, let me know if you disagree, but we both have programs of diminishing what we have to offer, of not seeing where our light does shine through and how it shines through. We have the judgmental mind programs that like to come in and tell us that we're not enough, that we aren't good enough, that we aren't doing enough. So today we are setting the intention to release that, if not just temporarily, and to share and show that light that we see in each other with the rest of you, to hopefully inspire and ignite your own light and the gifts that you have to offer. So thanks for being here. Let's get started.
Nice. Oh, how delightful and what a practice. This is one of my favorite things to do because this feels like the other part of the work. If healing is the work, the awareness, the coping, all of the stuff that brings more space within for joy, like that's the work, right? So we can live in our heart, speak through our heart, treat each other with kindness, ourselves with kindness. That's the work. This is the other work, the sharing of our gifts. And you're right, we have had a hard time valuing these innate gifts that we have because, you know, being people pleasers and all of that, it's hard to value what we have to offer when it hasn't been taken well, or it's been taken advantage of. In particular, you know, we have to give so much, but really that's not true. We just need to discern on who can receive. But let's talk about light. Let's talk about the gifts. But first, let's breathe. Let's connect through the breath.
Actually, calling this out, one of your first gifts that I'll mention.
Breathing?
Breathing.
Breathing. I'm very good at breathing most of the time.
No, cultivating space and guiding.
But
But we'll get into that.
we'll get into that. So let's just take a moment and connect with each other through the breath. Bringing our consciousness from our mind down to the heart. Releasing any resistances in the way, any thoughts that don't serve in this moment. Breathing in deeply, focusing on this present moment. I much prefer my heart to live there than in my head. It's good to open my mind too. It's a lot roomier than it used to be, admittedly. But if we're talking about quality, I love the quality of the heart center as a place to live. You know?
Agreed. It feels so good.
It does.
It feels so loving and nurturing and calm and free. It feels much freer.
And it feels like a really nice place to connect with others. I would much rather live in this neighborhood. For sure. I think that's part of what we're here for. So gifts. We all have gifts. This we know, yes. You have gifts.
I have gifts. You have gifts. Everyone has gifts.
They do. And oftentimes through childhood, upbringing, and culture, those gifts are underrated, undervalued.
Not seen.
Not seen, not fostered, not cared for. Because they're not marketable or usable, or so they just go ungrown. But good news is you can grow them. You can unearth it. You can do work to help you remember who you are and what you used to love. Shout out the Artist Way. Please do the course. It's amazing. Just one of the tools out there to help you connect with your creativity.
It is a really great book and
Truly.
course to get back in tune with the innate gifts that we have, that often we enjoyed in our childhood, but as a lot of people say, the realities of the real and working world set in, a lot of those get bulldozed.
Mm.
And we no longer create space or time for them, which is very unfortunate. So yeah, shout out that book. Great resource. Good mention.
For sure. I also think it's important for us to even look at gifts a little bit differently. Like, what are gifts? What is uniquely yours that you're here to share? And I know a lot of people don't know, right? But that's part of what the work is about, is to connect with yourself, to know who you are, to try things on, to see what happens, what sparks joy, what brings excitement. Life is a journey here to be experienced and have a plethora of emotions, not just this limited spectrum of acceptable emotions. But the whole gamut, the whole thing. It's so rich. Life can be so rich and abundant and beautiful and magical. But oftentimes when the ego is in charge, and it's that harsh taskmaster that blinds you to what is truly around you, the blessings, the nature, the people. It's a process of discovery. And I think that's a lot of why we're here, is to remember why we're here and what we're here to offer. So we're going to talk about our gifts.
Yeah.
And I think we talked earlier that it might be easier to talk about each other first.
Yes.
Because it's sometimes when you're doing this work, you have a hard time seeing your own gifts. Especially when something is so natural and easy for you, because it's one of those natural gifts that you came in with. You don't see it as a gift.
Right.
But for other people, it is 100% a gift. So sometimes when you're in this space and on this journey, we have people around us that can help reflect these things, because it's easier to have that external validation temporarily while you're growing your own confidence and your own self-awareness and compassion for yourself and honoring who you are, which is why boundaries are important, and being safe with people and having a nice open environment, is really helpful to help catalog, collect those data points, listening to all the different people as they reflect back to you, and listen to when you keep hearing the same thing come back to you from different people.
Right. Yeah.
It's very helpful. So where are you? What do you want to do? How do you want to start? Let me talk about you.
Hey, whoa.
Slow your roll there.
Yeah,
Hold on
yeah,
a second.
gosh.
Whoa.
My programs aren't programming. What do you... No, well, I've been asking myself as you've set the stage for us here. I guess I kind of want to ask the same to you, because for me, I think it can take a little bit for me to open up to like really receive. So sometimes,
Giving first helps you receive.
yeah.
I had a feeling.
Okay. And I had a feeling you had a feeling.
So I'd be happy to receive the reflection first. I'm just going to open myself to receive it and be in gratitude. And I'm excited to hear what you have to say, although I'm pretty clear on how you feel about me. But it's always nice to hear and connect with myself, and it feels good. So I'm definitely here for it. So thank you. Tell me all the wonderful things about me.
Okay. It's so funny. There's definitely a part of me that's like, oh, I'm excited to hear all the things that you see in me, because like I'm great and I want to be seen.
You are great.
I have that
and
thing
I
where
do
it's
see
like
you.
I know. My therapist points this out all the time, but it's like I have this thing deeply in me where it's like, oh, I want to be seen, but also I do not want to be seen. No one look at me, but give me all of the praise and validation. But okay. I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to take a minute to ground.
Okay.
To really hone in my one of my favorite love languages is words of affirmation. I just kind of like I do want to reflect, because you have a lot of gifts.
Oh.
You have a lot that you offer. And there's so much that I have received from you. So I do want to make sure that I cover as much of the territory as possible, or as much of the... I don't want to forget anything.
It's all good.
But if I do forget anything, or you feel like there was a part that I like left out, or that like I haven't seen, feel free to share.
Well, we're going to have that practice as well.
Okay.
As we share what we feel our gifts are as well. So
Okay.
But
sounds good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little apprehensive.
Why?
I'm worried I'm going to cry. Because you're great.
You're allowed to have emotions.
What?
I also
No,
saw
I'm not.
that. No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not allowed to have crying emotions in front of people.
I have a masculine ego, but just like I have a very soft heart.
Yes, you do.
Ugh. And this is just going to put me in such a space of just like gratitude and love. So
Good.
Prepare yourself.
Prepare to be loved.
Prepare to be deeply appreciated. Can't do anything about it. It's coming at you. Can you tell that I'm deflecting?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's all good.
Where to start? Where to start?
Aww.
I guess I'll start off with the one that I briefly mentioned before we dropped in. And I would say that you would say that this is probably one of the top ones. But by God, the space that you hold for people. Jesus. Yeah, you have just such this ability to like just hold people energetically wherever they are at. And just, it really is a gift to like meet people where they are, but you're able to meet people wherever they are and still hold this level of just neutral but nurturing love and space and support.
Sinuses.
Don't-
It's fine.
don't
No,
cry.
no, no,
You're
no.
gonna cry
It's
before I
totally
cry.
allergies. No, it's good. It's great. It's fine. It's my allergies. Okay.
I really feel like that has been something that I've been devoid of and deprived of my entire life, at least to like the quality that you hold. Like I have felt very like seen and loved by a lot of people in my life. But you know, my parents don't know how to sit with whatever feeling or thought that I'm having and just really be there, holding unconditional love for whatever is and whatever is being brought up. And that is, I really see it as one of the greatest gifts that humans are capable of, and one of the things that we are so desperately in need of at this time. So yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of you is the space that you hold. It's just like a giant energetic hug. Just fucking rad. It's very beautiful. Quick idea or suggestion. Do you want to do, each of us does the whole list, or do you want to ping pong back and forth?
Okay, idea. It's kind of like a call and response. Kind of like as a practice of, like, you reflect and then I receive. And then, like, I can, like, acknowledge. Because I do see that. I recognize that. Because that has been something that has been part of my growth over these last several years of learning what it is I actually do. Right? And allowing people to reflect these things. And hearing it consistently over people, clients that I work with.
Yeah.
And it has been really consistent with that feedback. Which is why I've learned to trust it. And why it's easier for me to receive that and even acknowledge that and share that with people and own that. You know? So thank you for recognizing it and valuing and appreciating it, because it wasn't always. But I do hold really good space. That was one of the first things I realized, like, early on, is like, can I just say I am a professional space holder? Like, this is like, I just, on a professional level, this is what I do. I hold space.
I think that is an accurate statement to make.
So, but it's also one of those things where it's so easy for me.
Right.
I've always been that kind of person where people feel safe with. And they share all sorts of things with me. Because I'm open, right? It kind of bit me in the ass a bit growing up. It was very unbalanced, you know? But yes, I own that. And I appreciate that. And I've also learned to give it to myself, which is a game changer. When you can learn how to utilize your own gifts that you naturally and lovingly want to share and be of service with, when you learn how to bring that around and give it to yourself, holy fuck. It's magical. It's amazing. It really is. You're like, oh wow, that's what they get. That I'm fucking awesome. Because you are. We all are. Like, in our ways, and these ways that we own our gifts and really then learn to appreciate it. So, thank you. Yeah. Recognize. I received that.
Thank you.
And I do love teaching it too. And if I just may ping pong that right back to you, my friend, that you also hold amazing space. I've recognized that from when I first met you, when you first started being like, yeah, can we talk about meditation? You know, like, I think I might want to do some of this stuff. And we started talking. I knew you were able to hold space because I was actually speaking. I've shared this with you before.
Right.
I can tell when people are open, when they want to actually hear what I have to say, when I'm actually able to speak. Otherwise, if I'm out in a gathering, a party, anywhere else, like, I'm pretty quiet. I don't speak a lot, because if there's no room for it, for me, my truth, and what I'm really interested in, which is all of this work that we talk about in the podcast, all of this, that's how I know when there's openness. And so you came in with this quality of openness. And I have benefited greatly from you holding space for me. So when a great space holder like myself can feel the same way with someone else, oh my God, it is such a gift. It really, really is. It's also a great way to learn to value your own gifts, is when you then see it in someone else and you get to benefit directly from their gift that they're willingly and lovingly giving to you. You're like, we're so high right now. This is amazing.
This is how the podcast feels.
Yeah.
Because it's just a back and forth holding space for each other. To listen and to be present for whatever is coming up and out.
Yeah. Yeah. And right along in this niche that we're talking about with holding space, and I know that we both have this, but the questions you ask are really great. This is a really great gift. This is not something that people, I think, have inherently, to be honest. I'm not sure if you recognize this about yourself yet, but how you ask questions is really great. Questions to me are light. And oftentimes people want to give statements. They want to give advice, what they would do. But if it's unsolicited, it's not really going to land right how you want it. The best way to get somebody through something is not to tell them what to do, because ultimately you don't know. Please. People think they do. Oh, I know. No, you don't. You don't. This is like shamanism 101. You don't know, but you ask questions so that they can find the answers. Buddhists do that. Taoists, I'm sure, I think, are up there with that, like where the teacher doesn't give you the answer. They keep asking you questions until you get there yourself, right? So you started doing that for me after a time, like when our relationship started to shift from, like the dynamic of I help you, right? Like I'm here of service, but you helped me in so many ways, even when I was being of service to you, because we were growing together. But when you really started to like come online and come into who you were, the quality of your questions just landed, and was really amazing for me to receive that space, to have somebody who could hold space for me. That is a gift, and one that I was not accustomed to until like recent years. So, because again, pruning, environment, people, your people, community, all of that. But really like cultivating these relationships where it's balanced, where you're giving me stuff and I'm giving you stuff, and it's very reciprocal and balanced. And it's just been really amazing to watch a lot of your gifts come online, like before my eyes. It's amazing. Like, I really get so much joy out of witnessing people shift their consciousness, their spirituality comes in their life, and they connect, and it's so satisfying. And so, yeah, thank you. There's that. You hold really great space, and you ask fucking amazing questions that get me to look at things and go, oh, that's so good. Hold on, let me think about that. As obvious through our podcast, through the questions that you've asked me here. Very evident for me. Do you see it?
Yeah, you've reflected that, or actually, sorry. Thank you. I'm realizing that this is also a really good practice in
receiving.
Yeah. And I feel like I've had a hard time. Like, I've been opening myself up more to receiving over the last few years, but I still find that I get hung up on like verbalizing the appreciation of it. And I do want to strengthen that, because I don't ever want people to think that I'm not soaking in and really receiving like the beauty and the light and the love that they're sharing with me. But sometimes it just like, because it does still feel a little hard to receive, I notice I get hung up on like words, and I just kind of like go into silence where it's like, okay, thank you. And then I kind of want to play small again.
Yeah.
After receiving that. So.
I got into the habit of, when I receive a compliment, I just say, thank you. I received that. Even if it was hard for me and it didn't all the way land inside, it does eventually.
Yeah.
You just keep saying it. Thank you. I received that. And you let it land in you.
Right.
It's not a game of hot potato. I love your hair. Yeah, you too. Your hair looks great. Did it even land? Did you even feel it? But if you allow yourself to receive it, it's nourishing. It's fuel. It's validation. So allow those compliments that are genuinely offered. Genuine.
Right.
Allow it to land. Feel it before you reciprocate. Take a moment and receive it. Because you deserve it. You're amazing. You deserve all the light. and all the appreciation because you bring a lot.
Okay, please hold. Let me receive that. Let me feel into it. Just give people the heads up. Like, if you compliment me, I'm going to need a 30-second buffer time. Let me soak it in. And then I will say thank you. I may be a little late with the thank you card, but I received your gift.
It's good practice.
Yeah, I am actually historically late with thank you cards. It's a very
I don't even
poor habit
send
of
them.
mine.
I don't like cards, but that's a tangent. Don't worry about that. We're moving on.
Okay. Well, okay. Thank you. Thank you for that reflection. I do receive that.
Nice.
And I do deeply appreciate that. You have been the biggest proponent of telling me that I ask really good questions.
Mm.
And that gift of mine, which you also have, by the way, you ask really great questions to help me like searchlight and become more aware of things that are happening in a given moment. You help me out ego programs and just so much stuff through the questions that you ask. But this leads me to the next major gift that I really deeply admire in you. And this one's more of it's spiritual, but it is also like a practice that you have been honing for your whole life. But channeling and your connection and communication with spirit and with source is fucking astounding. Like I've been working on becoming open and to listening. And you've just been like a huge inspiration and help in guiding me through that and figuring out what the signs are and everything. But I just feel like your channel is so strong, and I love the relationship that you have with your team, with your guides. And I don't know, it's just you just have this openness to the unseen parts of life. And I just think it's so beautiful that you have a communication with that and that you bring it into this world freely and confidently and lovingly, at least to the right people, to your community. But it's a gift and a skill that I deeply admire in you and take inspiration from. And I'm just like, every single time you channel, every time you get connected, I'm just like, oh yes, I can continue strengthening this for me and sharing this. But I don't know if you would count that as a gift in you, because again, I feel like it's something that just comes so naturally to you. But a year ago, I wouldn't have said, oh, this is not a gift that I have. I don't know how you do that. So to me, it really is. It's a wonderful gift. And you share what's in your channel with such, it's always just like a peaceful, loving offering. And it just brings in so much light. But you choose to bring that light in and to share it with the people around you. And that to me is a gift.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I received that.
Cool.
All the way down to the solar plexus is where that went.
Ooh, well, that's fun.
That's nice. Well, that's a nice big connection also, because that's where my star, I have a star connection there.
Heck yeah.
But also that helps me connect to the world, right? Because that is who I'm of service to. So thank you, first and foremost, for appreciating this gift of mine. I don't think I've appreciated it as much as I have until recent years. I also didn't know what it was or what I was doing. I was blind, just being like, I don't know. But once I started to actively, intentionally work on it and learn it and like trust it and playing with it, the intuition and what comes through, the messages, the insights, like all of the things, it has been an unfolding of knowing. And working with you has actually helped me learn it even better.
Hmm.
Because when you came in, you were ready for a teacher, and I was just ready for a student. I was just like, hi, meet each other. Like, this is great. Because I got to practice holding space, listening, asking the questions, and sharing what I was receiving, what I was feeling, what I was noticing, right? Like, so just by knowing you, again, the space you hold, the questions you ask, and the things that you share has helped me strengthen this part of me as well. Which is why why I really feel community is so important, because we can help each other grow in our gifts, in our service, in ourselves, just by being authentic and being present and being in the heart. I think that's where a lot of magic happens, a lot of that connection. And so I just feel like it's very related.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed learning to trust my channel. I have. It's been a lot of fun. And I like working with spirit. It takes off so much pressure. Like, I don't have to do anything. I just got to show up and ground and clear and be like, all right, go ahead, do your thing. I'm listening. My body will move. I'll start seeing things and feeling things. And then I'm like, okay, here we go. This is what I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. Right? And you were so open to it. And I've loved watching your channel come online. And I love that this last year because again, this is one of your gifts, is also channeling. But I also really value and respect the differences of our channeling. This is why I do believe we all have this capacity.
Yeah.
Every human being can do this.
Yeah.
Can connect, can embody spirit and connect and just know things and see things and feel things and use their body as a conduit. You know, I do feel like we have all the intuition and all of these innate abilities. It's just sort of like they're dormant. Like in that DNA, it's just the switch is off. And through meditation, through the work of healing and connection and curiosity, through this work, this enlightenment, this activation, it can turn on. And I've got to witness yours turn on. It's been so great.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Using my gift of asking really great questions. Thank you so much. Is the switch getting turned on? Are our gifts and clairvoyance and connection abilities getting turned on? Or is it were those dormant? Or is it simply a reigniting of the abilities that were never quite honed? Or abilities that didn't have space held for it when we were kids?
Both are
and so
true.
It got buried.
Both.
Okay.
So I do believe there are some gifts that are just not activated yet, which is why part of
fair.
What I feel I do is activate, right? You can activate energy bodies, spiritual bodies within the physical body.
Great awareness.
Right?
That's a great gift of yours. Very much activated me.
So you can get activated. These things can turn on. This is where like you hear people like, I got this download. Fucking awesome. Go integrate, you know? So things can get activated, but then we do have these unhoned things that we're like, yeah, I'm good at that. I could doodle, I could draw, I could make some things out of clay, you know? So it's like you could be an artist, but you're just unrefined. You're uneducated. It's not a honed skill. So it is just your decision whether you want to pay attention and grow that and expand and evolve that particular gift or not. There's no, you need to do this or not. It's your choice. So yeah, so it just sort of just depends on the individual, but both cases are true. Yeah.
Okay. Noted. That's fair. Thank you.
Yeah. I saw it in you. And I know I've said this on this podcast before, and I've said it to you so many times, but I'll keep saying it because apparently it's coming through. This is what wants to be said. I saw you as a light worker from Jump Street. Also one of my gifts. I get to see people. But I do. I see people. I see their potential. I see the light within, whether they're aware of it or not.
Yeah.
I saw you as a light worker. But we use that in so many ways. It's not just healers. You could be a light worker and be a hairstylist. You know, someone who holds really good space, asks really good questions. I have a really great hairstylist, Alexis, who is just amazing. So open. Like, I'm just yammering on, sharing all these things, and she's just fascinated. Please tell me more. I'm like, oh my God, you're amazing. Thanks for listening. And you just spread light. And that's what I saw in you. I saw this potential to just be a light in this world.
That's all I want to be.
I know. And that's what I helped you hold space for.
Yeah.
Well, what? Because you also asked for that, right? And a lot of it had to go through grounding first and connection and releasing and all, this whole process. But once you started to like trust spirit more, you started to really open that more. There was a quality of the space you were holding that it expanded. It got richer. It got clearer, right? The more that you release, the more that you process, the more that you were looking and owning yourself and like seeing yourself more clearly because you were holding better space for you to be you. You then naturally did that for me, which thank you so much. Thank you for the work because I benefited directly. Appreciate that.
Yeah. My fucking pleasure.
Right? It was. Mine too. So, but it happened a lot this year where because we are really connected and we are great reflections for each other, we're on these very parallel kind of paths.
Yes.
I'm just maybe a few steps ahead because I've been around the block a few more times. But still, we keep meeting up at the same point.
Yeah.
Right? So I got to feel your growth. I got to witness this through the words you were saying, through the things. And it was happening for like the last 24 hours talking to you today. Every time you're talking, I keep seeing things. Or I'll think like, okay, Nikki, don't forget to mention this to Maggie. And then you fucking mention it yourself. And I'm like
right after.
Like directly.
Like we've been so in sync.
Yes.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Really funny and really delightful. It's a super fun game to play. But yeah, your channel has been amazing to watch grow and get more clear and expand around you. And I think it's just going to serve you and what you're doing, you know, ultimately, because that's really what primarily, first and foremost, your channel is there to help guide you, right? It's your connection to your team to be like, yeah, you could do that. You could do this, and then whatever's in the highest good, that's what we're going to do, but it's for you. And so I love that you're doing this work for you. But also I'm really grateful because I love it too. I get a lot out of it.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a very interesting process allowing the channeling ability to come online. And there's still a lot that my mind will question. I'm like, wait, what? Where is this coming from? Because sometimes it still just feels like I just have it just seems like a thought in my head.
Yeah.
Like it's like I feel like I unconsciously channel, and I've been working on trying to consciously channel.
Stepping it up.
And bring that information in. Yeah. Like learning to recognize what is coming through my channel and what isn't my channel and all of that.
That's the work of discernment.
Yeah.
So that you can know what is the channel and what is your mind. It's very subtle, but yeah, that's what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm trying to figure out if the next gifts that I want to express and reflect to you, I kind of feel like they're subsections of holding space and channeling,
Okay.
but they are different.
Okay.
Like, they hone different skills, I think. But guidance and teaching, I feel, are other very prominent gifts of yours that I have personally greatly benefited from. I find it funny that we're sharing the gifts with each other, and it's been such a mutually beneficial, reflective thing. But you are a really great guide. And part of it is definitely the openness, the space that you hold to listen to not only your channel, but to what people are bringing to you. Whether it's, collective energy that you're listening to and receiving to know what type of guided meditation to give. Or just in the times that you and I have meditated together, or the work that you do on the table is a whole other thing that I definitely want to mention. Energy work is a freaking awesome gift that I don't really understand. That one's beyond me, so I'll definitely mention that after. Okay. But I really feel like you are such a strong guide and teacher. And you know what I mean? How like it includes holding space and it includes channeling, because the guiding is very in tune with the channeling. That's how part of how you know what to guide. But you also just have a lot of life experience and a lot of emotional maturity and understanding. So I feel like you just have a good gauge of like what would help people. But yeah, you and your higher self are just really great guides and aids in, I guess, just helping other people hold space and to just explore the inner workings of ourselves. Like, I really you're like you are a guide for the inner landscape in a way. And it also very much goes hand in hand with teaching and speaking. I feel like these are also very prominent gifts of yours. Is you are very good at explaining things in an understandable, tangible, experienced way. You make things easy to understand and relatable to understand, at least to me. The ways that you've explained all of the topics from everything that we've talked about on this podcast. Like, I always learn so much and gain so much from the words that you choose and the knowledge and the spiritual wisdom that you hold it's magical. And I feel like it just brings so much light in. And that also just feels really tied with how you're able to help ignite people. I forget. Activate. It's like the information that you give, it like, for me anyway, it feels like you're sparking the remembrance that was somewhere in me that I didn't know that I knew. But yeah. And I like the way that you speak. I like the way that you explain things. You're funny. Is humor a gift? Can that be a gift? You're fucking hilarious. And all of that, it feels like it just goes hand in hand with all of your other gifts too. It's so cool. I'm so excited. I would love to see you just speaking to more people and guiding more people in whatever way manifests in your life.
But thank you. I deeply receive that. That's really validating for me. The teaching was the one gift that was recognized in my childhood. So because it was where I
Oh,
got
you were
the,
going to be a teacher, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
I went to college to be a teacher, and I get in the classroom, and everything said no. My spirit, my body, everything was like, wrong place. So I thought it was going to be college. I realized in college it was, if I'm going to teach somebody, they have to want it.
Mm.
They have to want to be there. And journaling was going to have to be part of the coursework as well. That was always there with me because I benefited so greatly from that practice. But teaching was the one gift that was seen. And so I tried to go with it. You know, I tutored in high school. I was always the kid who was able to explain complex concepts easily. Like in a way that's easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like I broke it down to so they were able to understand it. And I got a lot out of it. It was super fun. Because if this way didn't work, I have another way. I'll try this way. Let me try this way. Do you get it now? Like, and I would,
You have a lot of ammo in the teaching gun.
I delight in it. I love watching the lights turn on. The awarenesses. And that happens a lot on the table too, when people are sharing something, or I'm listening to the body and I bring it up for some attention and like just hold some space for it, and we'll talk about it, and I'll say something in a way, and this is what's been reflected a lot to me over the last few years, was like oh my God, I never thought about it like that. I've heard that so many times. Oh, I've never thought about it like that. I like that. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to play with that one. I'm like, yes, they got it. They got something. That's so amazing. And I delight in this. And so it's a real motivation, and it brings me joy. That's why this work that I do doesn't feel like work. I'm just present and living and connecting and in this joy, this light, this love space. How can I not want to live there? And it's just finding like people to do it with, because it's hard. It's not always easy. There's lots of crying, for them usually, not for me, because I have to be neutral and disconnected. But that's
when
also
you're
a
working
gift
on
with
someone
somebody.
on the table.
Yeah,
Not
with somebody.
Out of context. That was a nightmare.
Right. Yeah, no.
I don't cry.
No, yeah, no, not me.
No.
No emotions. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, like when I'm holding space for somebody else, like it's hard work. This healing, right? Yeah, really hard and very inconvenient oftentimes. But I love talking about it. I love watching the lights turn on, and these aha moments and these shifts. So, thank you. Thank you for recognizing.
Yeah. I just even that, and just throughout this whole podcast, all of the recordings that we've done over this past year, you can see the joy and the fulfillment and the excitement and just the passion when you're here and when you speak. There's just such this ease and flow that illuminates the space. And it's a joy. It's a joy to see. It's a joy to be a part of and to receive all that you have to teach and guide and share. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your gift.
It feels like my purpose. But it's really nice when my passion, my purpose is validated and received well by others. It's really fulfilling. And just fills me with gratitude and just more excitement to keep moving forward and just to keep putting myself out there and just, all right, wherever I need to be. Because that's what they keep telling me. Because I'm like, what am I supposed to do for years? What am I supposed to teach? And they keep saying, they'll tell you. So tell me. What do you want me to talk about? Which is why I love this practice, because we talk about this. And I do. I love speaking. I do. I love it. So thank you for
tangible.
For giving me the space to speak. It's so nice.
Happy to provide this space.
Thank you.
You offer it right back.
Oh, that's nice. I'm excited to keep working on that and honing all of those things.
I'm sure your Leo North Node is also very excited.
It
Getting the
is.
spotlight.
It is, after hiding for so long. No, don't look at me. It's fine. I don't need to say anything. No, I'm over it. I'm good. It's good. I'm excited.
I'm excited. Can't wait to see all that you do.
Thank you. Okay, my turn. The thing that it's like, here we are. It won't go anywhere. This is the thing that's been like waiting in the dock, like
Okay.
as soon as you were done.
Hit me.
One of the things I really respect about one of like your gifts is your musical inclination. Your ability to play multiple instruments, to compose music is amazing.
Oh.
It's something that I've always loved and been drawn to, but never really got into. I feel like a past life I was a musician, but I don't have those gifts. But I like to dabble, but I really love it when I can see it in somebody else. And I love the music that you've made that you've let me hear. I love and adore every time I hear the intro and outro to our podcast in the second season. I'm like, thank the Lord you did it. Because I wanted you to do this for the first season, but you're like, no, not yet. I'm like, okay, it's fine. Take your time. It's good. It'll come.
I got it my own way.
It happens.
It does.
I'm very patient.
Oh, you are.
And I knew
Shout out
happened.
paying other gift.
That's a skill. That one I had to work on. That was not innate. That was definitely a skill I practiced. But thank you for that. I really delight in your creativity. And because I know you can channel, right? Because I've seen this and I've seen this growing, I really think it'd be so fun to bring the two together and just have you channel music, which is why I'm like, okay, I'll do the guided meditation and you're going to do the music, right? Like, I think it's going to be really great. But I just feel like it's so rich as a resource in you. And I know that there's resistances and things that you're working through, but I feel like it is one of your strongest gifts to your soul. I feel like this is a soul thing, you know? Like, I'm not saying like you have to go be a concert giver, you know, like a performer necessarily. But I think there's just something really magical as a possibility of your music and your spiritual inclinations. Because there's a lot of healing in music, you know? And I feel like a lot of these things are coming online for you. And you have this one that you came in with, like how I came in with teaching. I feel like you came in with music.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. And
this is one of your foundational core gifts. And so I'm always supportive of you creating, and please share. Like, you don't have to put it anywhere, but just share it with me because I fucking love it. So
I am kind of working on a couple piano compositions.
Yeah, you mentioned you've been playing with the piano a little bit. I love that.
Some things have been coming through.
Yeah. So I just really want to highlight and reflect your musicality is lovely. And I'm excited to see what you end up doing or not doing. I don't care. Whatever. I don't care. Whatever. You can do whatever you want, but no pressure.
It's definitely a part of the puzzle.
I believe it is. I think there's really something there. And I'm excited to see how you use it. How you utilize it, how you grow it, how you share it. Because that's really what this is about, is sharing our gifts. And you have this gift.
This is one of the resistances.
Music or receiving this compliment?
Sharing my music.
Sharing your music. I know. But you did. You've done it with Sheep Creek.
That's true. Made music for your husband's film. Shout out. Shout outs on all streaming services.
Except for Netflix and anyway.
Heck yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. I do. Although somewhat apprehensively for my ego, I do receive that. My soul receives that. My soul fucking loves music. God, it's food. It's food. It's life source for me. And yeah, like you said with the channeling, for me, it's one of those things like it was just always there from the jump. And it was very prominent in my mom's side of the family. Every one of them was and is a musician. My grandma's really the only one left. I have a very small family.
Yeah.
But my grandpa and my uncle and my grandma and my mom, all musicians. And even, yeah, I think my great grandmother on that side of the family.
It's right down to your genetics.
No, okay, well, here's the thing. Piano was the first instrument that I learned. My mom signed my sister and myself up for lessons, I think when I was about 4 or 5. And one of the first things that the piano teacher noticed was that I almost had perfect pitch. Like she could play a note and I could recreate it within like 1 or 2 tries. It's just the naming of that specific note within the context of a scale that I think didn't quite get honed. I feel like if I had stuck with it and like trained my ear more, I would have gotten to that point. But my grandma always made a comment because my mom and my sister didn't have that ability, but my grandma does. And her mom didn't have it, but her mom's mom had it. So we made the joke the whole time that like the near perfect pitch or like perfect pitch in general, like being able to pick things out and play it by ear pretty quickly.
Oh, so
that like
impressive.
That skipped a generation.
Love it.
I'm sorry, Colleen. My sister. I'm sorry that I got that particular gift, but you're a fabulous piano player. I love all the pieces that you play when you get to play. You're awesome. But yeah, that's always been such a deep thing for me. But it's also interesting how it's been one of my, with the sharing, like we just said, has been one of my biggest resistances. Like it's something that my ego gets so insecure about sharing, but my soul loves it so fucking much. And it's one of those things that it doesn't, oh, that's what I was going to say, is that it doesn't feel like a gift because it's just a part of me. And I do have the belief, like how we're saying with channeling, anybody can hone the skill. I think anybody can learn to play any instrument that they want, that they're drawn to. I just had this conversation with one of my roommates the other night. I was playing piano and he asked me to take the headphones off because there's this one song from Minecraft that he loves to hear me play since he found out that I could play it. I forget the name of it. It was one of the OG ones. Shout out. Minecraft has a great soundtrack, not gonna lie. But he was like, man, I really wish my parents had helped me learn an instrument. And,
Me too.
like, I feel like it's too late. And it's like, no, I firmly believe that anyone and everyone has the ability to learn and play an instrument. Now, granted, that'll be at different degrees.
Right.
People will be drawn to different instruments and, maybe ear training is really difficult, but you're a great sight reader. Like there are so many different things within musicality and the expression of it that I feel like anybody can do it. So it's weird because my ego, like it ignites my soul, but my ego has a hard time seeing it as a gift, especially when I know what I don't know. I know what my weak points are in music. Like I've kind of lost the ability to sight read and I'm kind of like, am I really a musician?
I see that as a strength. Self-awareness as a strength so that you know what to focus and grow on. So
nice.
That makes you very intelligent and not egotistical. Like there's no perfection needed. But if you recognize that, you can also grow that.
Yeah.
That's not permanent.
That's true.
That's just awareness.
That's true. I can gain the skill back.
You can. Much quicker than the first time you learned it.
That's true.
That's just basic psychology. You learn something once, it's never going to take the same amount of time because the muscle memory will fire in.
Right.
It'll be retrieved from the deep archives of the recesses of your mind. I'm just saying, you bring channeling into that, and it will come even faster. I'm just saying.
I think music, anything that gets created
It's channeled.
with music
For sure.
is channeled. Yeah.
That's the flow state. When you get in that flow, you lose track of all time. Yeah, that's channel.
Yeah. I think what I'm learning to do is to keep slowly removing my ego from my music practice and the things that I compose. It's just removing as much judgment and mental interference as possible to allow it to be as close to the channeled, original, authentic energy core that it is. Like, to try to be as close to that as possible without letting my mind season the soup a little bit too much.
It's good practice.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, I could talk about this for a long time, but I'm going to stop myself there and
because
say thank
it's
you
one
so
of your
much.
gifts. It's one of your passions, and I really love watching it. I love being able to witness it and receive the delightful sounds.
You make me want to share this more with you.
I'm glad.
I don't know how. I don't know in what way. Maybe next time that we have like a little like girls group creative night.
Oh, you're totally
if there's a
bringing
piano
an instrument.
somewhere. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I've been really into piano lately.
We'll have Kat bring her guitar, and you'll bring an instrument. You could bring a keyboard if you like, you know.
That's a little cumbersome.
Oh.
I'll just also bring a guitar.
Okay. Whatever's clever.
Anywho, if we're walking out in public somewhere and there's a piano.
That would be fun. I love those, like in train stations and malls. You see those videos on YouTube and
I
stuff.
say that, but now I'm like, I would probably not do that. I'm not the type.
Well, then maybe
But-
I'll just, if I'm there, I'll challenge your ass.
Okay. Buy me like a scone or something after. We'll call it
I'll
even.
buy you a snack. So, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Good
Okay.
gift.
Thanks. It's lovely. Fucking love music. I saw your ukulele in here and I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, play
I
more.
Tuned it. I got it tuned. I just like picking at it. It just makes me happy just to play arpeggios, and strumming is the hardest thing. Like, I thought I had decent rhythm. My hand does not. My ears are good. I have fine ears, but the hand, it's clunky.
You'll get there.
Sure. You say so.
It's a skill and a technique to be trained.
It is. I just enjoy playing around. My brother had that perfect pitch where he can learn something and then play it. Fucking used to piss me off as a kid. I was always so jealous. I'm like, why don't I have that gift? Why are my gifts so stupid? I don't have any gifts. He got them all. He's dumb. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you better be. I just named like 5 of them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I didn't have those as a kid. No, I probably did. I lied. I did.
You did.
I've always been holding or creating good space. My bedrooms were always like really nice to be in. I hold good
Love
space.
that. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Let me feel into maybe the last couple ones here.
Mm-hmm.
We could go on.
We could, but
It could be
I
a very
kind of
long
want to
list.
change the game a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think it's also fun to share gifts that not many people know. Like, right? Or what you think are your gifts. Right?
Okay.
So, like, I'll go first as an example. What I mean is, like, some of my gifts, I consider gifts. I'm really good at cooking and baking. I love feeding people.
Facts. She's a great cook.
I really enjoy knowing how to do things well, and I really enjoy eating. Therefore, I also love feeding other people because I like watching them enjoy it also. So,
I still need that soup recipe, by the way, that you made the other week.
oh, the zuppa toscana? Was that the one, the sausage soup that I gave you? That one?
Yes.
Yes. Done. Easy.
Thank
I actually took that recipe, well, the concepts of like how you make it, then I just changed the ingredients. But like the soup, like recipe, like this is fucking amazing. I love this. That's what I love about cooking is like you have one recipe and it's just concepts. It's just like chemistry. And then you could just make them up. You can just switch out ingredients and whatever you have in your house. It's super fun. But I love cooking. Okay, the hardest one for me to admit and talk about, which I think you know because we went through the artist way together, is I'm finally claiming that I am an artist.
Yes. Fuck yeah, you are.
But because, again, that was never honed or acknowledged growing up, I was just labeled creative. And I loved coloring and making anything with my hands, from like yarn chains. And, you know, eventually I taught myself through YouTube University as a 20-something-year-old knitting and crocheting. Like, I just love making shit.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Multimedia, collage.
Oh, God, I love collage and mixed media. I love composition and colors and
photography.
Oh, God, I love photography. Like, seriously, I fucking love art.
How can you say all these things?
I
You have such
know.
a passion and a joy for art, and you do so many artistic things.
Because
you are an artist.
I'm not. No, see, again, there's the mind, because I didn't go to school for it, because I can't just draw something that I see. You know what I mean? Like, picture, what do they call it? Photorealistic.
Like the perfect pitch of the drawing world.
Exactly. But what I have learned over the years is it doesn't matter. I don't need to be a professional artist to say that I'm an artist. I know I'm an artist because it fucking lights me up. And am I open to learn? Hells yeah, I'm going to be learning the rest of my life.
It's the fun part.
It really is. I'm doing singing lessons now on Musician on my phone just because I want to hone my voice.
Fuck yeah.
Right? I want to work on that.
Not gonna lie, I'm jealous of that.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's not that much.
It's just an insecurity of mine, is my singing voice. So to see you go out here and like actually put time and energy and like nurturing into it, I'm like, I could do that.
I'm doing it for my speaking though.
Right.
But I'm having fun because I'm also insecure with my singing.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be empowered. I want to hone my voice. I want to be able to control the sound, the frequency, because a lot of what I do with the channeling and the meditation, there's a frequency, there's like a tone, and I want to be able to like control that.
Yeah.
You know, and have it align and bring in the things. So I'm doing it for other reasons, but I'm having a lot of fun just singing karaoke and practicing pitches and like ears. Like they train your ear and stuff, and you have to match it. And it's like, it's super fun. It's something I've always wanted to do. But I love painting. I just love all of it. Am I going to have an art gallery? Probably not, but I do it because I love it. And I might.
Your Instagram can be an art gallery.
I was going to say. I mean, who knows? I do like sharing. I have a Nicki's art journey, which I stopped sharing too because I stopped creating so much art because life and stuff. But I do feel like it helps me, you know, and I'm still really curious about cultivating it. You know, like we're going to have another art night and we're going to bring Lacey in and help us do some fun art therapy things perhaps. But I also am down to teach people mixed media art. Oh my God, it'd be so much fun. Like the trash art. Oh my God.
Teaching an art.
Fun. Oh my God, please tempt me some more.
And you know, channeling is going to get thrown in there. You'll be holding space for everyone.
Guiding them through. It's okay. Holding space for this. Paint what you feel. No. But yeah, I do. I love that. And I think it's real progress for me to admit that I'm also an artist. Do I get paid for it? No, but you don't have to. It's a limiting belief. But man, do I love creating. So that's one of my gifts. That and cooking. Those are my 2 shares. What are your gifts?
That's awesome.
That I didn't mention.
Well, one that you kind of spoke, which I feel I definitely see this in you, but I also, it's weird for me to say because it sometimes comes at a detriment to me, but the desire for excellence and for, I think you said being really efficient and like close to just the desire for like excellence and for quality in the things that we create, the ways that we show up and the things that we do. That's where the detriment is, like for me, is I am prone to perfectionism.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we spoke about this on a previous episode, is the flip side of that is the drive and the desire for excellence, for quality. And I feel like that is actually one of my mind's and ego's gifts.
I keep hearing desire for mastery.
Ooh, I like the mastery.
Yeah.
The mastery of a craft.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
That's what was coming through. It wouldn't
I
be
love
quiet,
that.
so thank you for letting me say it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that desire for mastery. And for me, I feel like with that, one of my gifts, I think, is detail orientation.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am a very, well, sometimes also to a detriment. I do sometimes have a hard time backing up and seeing the bigger picture and seeing and feeling things in context of the greater whole.
Mm-hmm.
I do get very sucked into the minute details of things, but it is for that desire of excellence and for that desire of mastery. And I think, some people really aren't, like, they don't have the laser focus on the details. Some people have the laser focus on the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're all needed. And we all
Hence
need
the
each other.
community.
Yeah.
And collaboration and the different parts. But yeah, I can see that you have a great attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a gift.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I guess the only other one in me, this might be coming from a bit of my ego.
It's allowed.
Okay. Our egos have gifts.
Of course they do. They're
Yeah.
here to help us.
That's true.
It's just when they get a little bit too big for their britches and they become harsh taskmasters that we got to put them in their place. And be like,
Yeah.
you work for me.
I feel like the ones that we pointed out, these are more of like soul gifts.
Uh-huh.
And the ones that we're pointing out now are more like human or like egoic or like mind gifts.
Physical. The world of the physical world.
Yeah. But I would say one of my gifts, and I don't know how much I share this with you. I have resistance to saying this because I don't want it to sound cocky.
Oh, I so want you to say it all the more.
I feel like my intellectual ability and capacity is a gift in the ways of... You looked at me so confused and I'm like, am I gaslighting myself?
I'm not. Am I looking at you? I'm intently listening and trying to follow along.
Okay. I really don't want this to sound egotistical, but I love learning and watching videos and reading about like the deeper complexities and like metaphysics of the universe and life and being a human. And like I love the intellectual side of like healing and psychology. Like my brain and my mind, they just love to analyze and to take in information and to learn how to like integrate it and where to apply it and how to combine big complex things and bring them together in a tangible way. So this is why I think like politics for me is very like intellectually stimulating. It's like, look at all, like I want to learn so deeply about like each side of things and pull out those little nuggets of wisdom that they have to merge them together to, this is funny because I just said attention to detail, but to merge them together to create the bigger, larger picture and to create more harmony. Yeah, I love to do like intellectual style, like writing for myself just to put pieces together. And this is something that I don't know how, I feel like a lot of people don't see this. It's more of like like in my quiet time. I love just to learn and to listen and to mull over. I'm a forever student and learner of life, but I love diving deep. I honestly kind of love science. I love literature. I love music. Like I feel like I'm a Renaissance woman. Like just all of these things, and my brain soaks that up. So that's what I mean by the intellectual. I think the intellectual pursuit that I hold is a gift.
Very much so. The curiosity of the mind is inspiring to understand the greater universe. And you have intellectual power and passion so that you can collect all the data and make sense of it and then share these insights. And that is very much scientific. I have a very similar brain where I'm like, oh my God, please just tell me everything. Like I I love science. I was almost a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I almost became like a researcher for psychology, but the body and the spirit called me elsewhere. But I still have that love of learning,
Mm.
that curiosity of remembering
Yeah.
the things that we don't remember and like bringing it in and then sharing it with others. It is a gift. It's lovely, being able to think and critically analyze.
I love critical thinking.
Keep doing that, because I think a lot of people can learn that skill. Again, these other things are skills that we're talking about, right?
That's the question in the back of my mind. What's the difference between a gift and a skill?
I feel like gifts are related to the purpose of what we're here to share with the universe or the world and like our community or our families. I feel like these are things that we come in with that activate or they don't, or like it's sort of like just like the light that you bring, that special nuance of you, whether it's an art style or writing or whatever it is. It's the thing that you brought in with your contract. I want to play with this. I want to do some of this. But of course, our human minds still need stimulus and fun. And so we learn these skills like riding bikes, cooking, relating, communication is a skill. Like all of these things, but these add to the quality of our life. Whereas the gifts are the things that we're here to share. And yes, our skills we can also share. And oftentimes that becomes people's professions.
Yeah.
Because that's how society and culture was created. Like gifts weren't really focused on a lot in this culture once we got out of tribes.
Right.
Pretty much. But
true.
Like, oh, well, you're good at that. You're good at manual labor, or you're really strong. Go, like whatever. People become gardeners because they have green thumbs, and all of this.
Go
like
monetize it.
Right. Go monetize it. But yeah, so there's, skills I feel like add to the quality of life, whereas gift is the purpose.
Okay.
That's how I feel the difference
I love that.
is.
Okay.
Right? The gift is the purpose, what we're here to share and bring. But the skills add all the bonus stuff,
Yeah.
that make life more enjoyable.
Because I think skills can end up becoming gifts.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of overlap.
Or we discover our gifts from this particular skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. You learn the skill and it brings something out. It activates something.
Yeah.
But man, shout out to all the savant kids that come in knowing how to play the damn piano. Or like a violin at like 3 years old. Like, wow. I wish I had that. But I'm grateful. Thank you. But
you have that with holding space and channeling.
All right. I accept that. That's fine.
I didn't come in with channeling.
My mind is a little salty, though, that I didn't get like really cool. It always wanted visual arts, right? All my gifts are invisible.
And auditory, apparently, because you really admire the piano and the early violin learners.
I do. And communication and speakers and inspiration. Yeah, I get it.
I think these are just reflections for things that you can invest your time in to bring you more joy.
Yeah, I like that. That's really why I do it. It's just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you guys in one of our groups, like I'm not learning how to sing so that I can sing for everybody.
Right. It's literally like vocal cord tuning and practice.
Right. Like I'm more breath control.
Yeah.
Like all sorts of other skills that come with singing. And just for the fun of it too. I'm just doing, and perhaps I'll get over stage fright and sing karaoke one day. Yeah. So cool. Neat. Where are we? On time.
We should probably wrap up.
Are we going to wrap up now?
Yeah.
That feels really good though. That feels good. It's nice. It's nice to share and honor the gifts that we have come to recognize and embrace.
And skills.
And own it and value it. That's been a lot of the work I've been doing over the last several years as I've been learning a lot about the energy work and what I actually do.
Yeah.
Because that's been a really interesting
the
thing.
energy and body work, by the way. We didn't quite touch on that, but want you to know it's quite
right
the gift.
There with the channeling, because it's through the channel that the energy flows.
That's true. And
it's just learning to embody, right? So that was kind of like the fun thing. But there's still things that you can do these things or have these gifts that you don't even know what they are or what you're doing, which is why the reflection from other people. Why I love working on healers, because healers are really sensitive and embodied and in tune with themselves, that they're able to verbalize what you've done or how they received it or what happened for them.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why it's important while you're learning and growing not to judge yourself, because you don't actually have great perspective yet. So learn to trust the positive feedback around you as you're growing.
Yeah. That's been one of the biggest things that has helped me to begin to see and begin the process of accepting and integrating and then ultimately sharing my gifts. It's the reflection from other people seeing it.
So needing that external validation is only temporary, though, also.
Yeah, right.
Just like with children, you know, as they're learning, they're growing, you're like, that was so great, that was good. They're learning what they're doing or that it's serving them or whatever it is, but it's there to help gain and solidify the foundation of confidence.
Yeah, it's the igniter.
Yeah.
So then you can integrate and ultimately share when you are at a more confident place.
So then one day if people aren't in agreement, they're just not able to receive it or see it. And that's on them. That doesn't take away from your gifts or talent or anything. Excellent. Sharing gifts. Being yourself. That's so nice. And being in an environment where you're safe. I think it's really beneficial for people to learn how to acknowledge their gifts.
Yeah.
Because we all have them.
Yeah.
Even if you can't see it, it's there, I promise. It's there. Just need to unearth it. Bring it to light. Or bring some light to it. Experiment and play. I love it. I get a lot out of it. I love reflecting gifts to people. I'm like, you're amazing. Let me just tell you how amazing you are.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your gifts, by the way, this season and last season and in the future. Thank you. I love watching you share your gifts.
Ditto.
Thanks.
It feels like we have very complementary gifts.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's why we work well together.
Probably. This is why we're contracted.
I think so. Indeed. This is very great. I love this. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I really love this practice, this game that we just played and provided for each other. And I hope it inspires someone, you know, go grab a close family member, friend, a sibling, just any loved one, or maybe someone that you want to get closer with and maybe play this game. Just be like, all right, let's ping pong back some of your favorite things about each other.
I love this game. I learned this game in college.
Oh, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had never done it. And we were on a spring break. We went to go as a group with our English teacher to go see these plays and have this little adventure. And a bunch of us were sitting outside and they're like, one of the kids was like, hey, let's go around and say nice things about each other or like what we like about each other. Oh. I'm like, oh. Now, mind you, none of them hardly knew me because I didn't know myself very much. But it always stuck with me. This one kid, Zach, because this is one of the things that like really like got my attention because I hadn't seen that or trusted anybody else saw it. But Zach, who I had just met and spent this time with, goes, wow, Nicki, you are really powerful. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? He goes, you have no idea. And when you realize it, look out, world. That's what he told me.
What an awesome compliment.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was right.
Thank you.
But one of his gifts is truth-telling.
He was a journalist.
Wow.
I think so. He was a writer. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a while. To like really receive and see it. But I got there. And I do feel powerful. And I know and I can.
You are powerful.
I can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to show the world and share myself.
Yeah. Me too.
Thank you for helping me get there.
Into that. Yeah. Yeah. My God, thank you.
Oh my God. This has been so great.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to thank all of you who have tuned in and listened to this podcast for the last 2 seasons. Even though I know that there's arguably a very small amount of you at this point in time, but it's just the love that we have received, the comments that we have gotten from you. It's so validating to know that there are people that resonate with what we're sharing, that want to receive our gifts and to tune in and to listen. And especially thank you to the close personal people that have been following us since day 0.
And our Patreon members.
Yes.
Shout out. Love you guys.
Yes. You guys have just been such an incredible support.
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm so excited to just see what this podcast continues to unfold, but also for just all of the light and gifts that our listeners have and will be sharing with the world and their own community. Because I feel like this really is just such a powerful space and community to bring in the light and the love. And I really hope, like, my deepest intention with this podcast the whole time will always just be, I hope to inspire others to grow their own gifts, to grow their awareness of the totality and authenticity of who they are. And I always just want this to be a permission slip for others to share their light and their magical gifts in whatever way calls to them, whether that's making a podcast for themselves or posting their artwork online or putting their song up on SoundCloud, like whatever it is. I just always want this to be a permission slip and a point of inspiration and light and love for all that find it. So thank you so much for all of you listeners for being here.
Well said. Same. Thank you for going on this journey with us. This has been a really healing experience for both of us, where we get to practice being ourselves, sharing our truth, telling our stories, sharing our gifts, and receiving, all at the same time. And it's just a process, and I'm very excited to come back early in 2025. We're going to take a little break. We're going to resource. We're going to plan, figure out what the next steps are, and we're excited to come back refreshed and strong and motivated, inspired, and ready to keep talking about all things healing and metaphysical. Very, very excited. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
Yeah. And for those that are curious and are members of the Patreon currently, we will still be active over there.
Yes.
And we are going to be beginning our social media journey. So that will be another point of connection and community.
Yeah, so we'll still be putting up side reels and guided meditations monthly on our Patreon if you want to stay connected with us in our community. We would love it. Yeah. So,
and look out for us on Instagram and other things of the like soon in 2025.
Indeed. Thank you for being part of our journey. Blessings to you. Happy New Year.